Welcome to The Power and the Pain, where your past isn't your prison.
It's the fuel for your purpose.
I'm Greg Pease, combat veteran, NLP trainer, and your guide to turn trauma into triumph.
And I'm Catherine, truth teller, mirror holder, and voice for the breakthrough hiding in your breakdown.
This is The Power and the Pain. Let's go. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of The Power and the Pain. This week, we're going to be talking about fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. And we can make this a real short episode. Just go buy the fake Rolex. All right, let's talk about fake it till you make it. I've had so many evolutions of this in my mind on my journey. I've tried to do it. I've hated it. I've talked against it. What are your thoughts? Like, I'm gonna share this like perspective on it here in a minute. What are your knee-jerk reaction thoughts on the idea of fake it till you make it?
Well, my initial is I'm not always a fan. But I think that sometimes this 3D reality that we're experiencing is kind of like the slow, like last bit of it. And so sometimes I think that the fake it till you make it is really like trying on something new and experimenting with it. And so, it isn't actually faking in that sense, but for lack of better descriptors, because we know what we know, right, and we're at what moment we're at. I think that it helps to kind of have a like, okay, well, I'm just trying this on and let's see what it does. Yeah,
I love it. So, and that is that's the perspective I'm going to share. I love it. The labels, fake it till you make it. I really don't like them.
Yeah,
the labels, the words. Okay, the words that I use and like. When I put them next to each other, I'm like, well, they're really not that much different, but I feel better with act as if.
Okay. Or
act as if now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. So I think fake it till you make it gets this. I think it's rooted. I believe it's rooted in very valuable information and then interpret it incorrectly. That's what I think. The interpretation, a lot of people, in fake it till you make it, I've done this. We are trying to get others to believe that we are someone or something that we are not yet. And so like if they confirm it, then I'm doing it and then it must be.
When it's externally validated.
It's externally validated. And if they're externally it must be. If the world says I am X, I must be X. So like the interpretation, and by the way, if anyone has interpreted it like this or been shared the information like this, welcome to the journey. I did it all myself. So like the idea of like, if I can get other people to believe, then it must be.
Yeah.
That would be the way I'm going to suggest let's not utilize the information. And then let's talk about how do we utilize it. Whatever labels we use is not as important. Fake it till you make it, act as if. We're talking about more of an idea, a concept, a process. Okay. Vodka and cranberry, everyone.
I have my non-alcoholic espresso martini.
Aww, that thing looks fancy. Espresso martini. Okay. So let's talk about how do we utilize it? When you are as sure of a future memory as you are of a past memory, that future memory will come to pass. Okay. Go ahead.
Is this timeline therapy?
Yes, in its own, yeah. Our memories, I'm going to suggest none of us hold an accurate memory. So the last pages in the book I wrote, like I give this like disclaimer that in The Power and the Pain, this disclaimer that like everything that I've shared is to the best of my memory And these memories must be distorted through my trauma. So they are most certainly inaccurate from what literally took place, but they're my best recollection from inside my head. None of us have, like, your memory's not wrong. Let's not think it in terms of right and wrong. Your memory just is.
Yeah.
What deductively took place in that moment, you altered a little bit. Everyone did. Everyone, not just like, it's not you, me, I did. And every time you pull up that memory, based on current neurology, you're slightly tainting that memory a little bit further. Okay, your memories aren't wrong. Your memories just are. And I want to be clear, because then there could be the realization of like, oh my gosh, if my memory, what is it? We're all delusional. We are all living a delusion, and your and I's delusion is the story we tell ourselves internally. We're all telling ourselves a different story, and that story is what's creating the memories. Okay. If that's true for past memories, I know it sounds a little weird. It's also true for future memories. When you can remember the success you created in the future, it will pass you in the 3D world. So acting as if the way we're not doing it is externalizing it. The way we are doing it is internalizing it. When you can get, listen, this will be the hardest. So we're talking about law of attraction manifestation right now. It gets a bad rap. It has a horrid rap, I think. Okay, horrid's a bit strong, but that's what I'm going to use for now. In the idea of like, there's this constant conversation of like, you can't just think it. It takes action to do it. Listen, I'm not sure what law of attraction or what secret you read, but none of them that I read said there wasn't an exchange of energy. None of them said that, but it all starts in thought. Everything we have ever created as humans, ever in the history of evers, was not preceded. Thought was first. Thought, like we thought it before the creation for humans, if we created it. So if we're going to create something in the future, we must think it now. And when I can get my neurology to believe that it is, then it must be. When I can get myself to believe that I am a speaker, then I must be.
Yeah.
When I can get myself to believe that I am transforming who I am and sharing transformation with others, then it must be. And when I say it must be, at the moment, you just have to imagine with me for a second, at the moment that I believe in my neurology, in my core that I am, it wouldn't matter who didn't. Yeah. I would be living my delusion at that time.
And if we're all doing it anyways.
We literally are. And by the way, reject what's not for you guys. But right now, whatever you're saying to yourself about what you're hearing me say is the delusion you're living, and it's not the same exact story as anyone else's.
Yeah.
Right now, when you're hearing me talk, you're telling yourself a story about what I'm saying right now, and it's different than everyone else's story.
Which is how everyone's going to experience it differently.
Yeah.
So everybody could hear the same podcast, read the same book,
yeah,
and have some reflection that you may be like, well, I don't remember that. Was it you? There was somebody that I was talking to that was telling me that in their book that, you know, they had said something and people would come to them and tell them something and they're like, that was not in the book that I wrote, but okay, if that's their experience.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we had that, but yes, 100%. I mean, I see or experience this a lot. One time I remember I was speaking one time, and it was like a year later, and I was speaking again, and I got done, and this lady comes up to me and she's talking to me. She says, yeah, I heard you speak last year. And she just tells me what she took from the message. And I remember thinking in that moment, I was like, that's what I said. I don't remember that, but awesome.
Yeah.
It wasn't about the words, but what they extracted as the message.
Yeah. Well, because how much of what we are saying that people are hearing is actually our words.
Yeah. Yeah. When we look at acting as if, I want you to consider, again, we have to, the big piece is shut down the external and bring on the internal. Like if we think about people that are, this is my projection, people that are new in money can tend to be flashy. Not that they are. If you're new in money, it doesn't mean it equals flashy, but it can be. But people that really, really have money are not flashy at all. It looks like they shopped at Goodwill. So you wouldn't know it. Like 9 times out of 10, like if you've met like 8 and 9 figure earners, you probably had no clue unless you were introduced or knew who they were. And you've passed them in the grocery store. And you quickly like misjudged that situation. Yeah. That's internal. Like they're not trying to get anyone to believe that they're doing a thing. Like they're driven inside to go to a place. When we shut down the external and then we bring it inside, let's talk a little bit about like, how do we do this? Creating a little bit of awareness for this. It starts with our beliefs. So first we have to determine what it is that we desire, what it is we're going to create, what it is that we're going to act as if now. And then we must evaluate, this is where the journey kicks in. We must evaluate, do I believe that that's going to come? Not like, could I believe, not like, should I believe, but do I believe? And you got to be honest with yourself, because if I'm going to be honest with you guys, this is what it looked like for a long time for me. And I still work through this. I say, okay, I'm going to get 150 people into my mastermind by the end of this year. And then I ask myself, I'm like, do you believe that to be true? And then I know that I'm supposed to believe so. Yeah, no, I believe it. Next step. What's next? I'm ready to get my reward. We bypass, we lie to ourselves. Like, I'm just being raw. I lie to myself. I am delusional. Okay. We bypass, do we actually believe that? Because we know we're supposed to. Yeah, I believe it. Yep. Where's my reward? A lot of people go to the church in this manner. Yeah, I'm just saying it, right? It's like the golden ticket. Where's my reward? I got my ticket to heaven. But do we actually believe it? And here's the deal. Like, if we don't, we're afraid to say we don't, because then that must mean that I can't have it. But until you expose your old beliefs, you can't change them. And until you truly believe, it won't come to pass. Yeah. So we got to allow ourselves. This is like this is like the how-to when we're looking at like, yeah, it's a good idea. Let's just believe it's all going to work out. That sounds good. Allow yourself to expose the reasons why you don't believe it's going to work out. I don't have enough money. I don't know. Flush these out. These are like, it's such a trendy term, but these are the beliefs that are limiting you from creating that. That's why they're calling them the limiting beliefs. Yeah. Such a trendy term. I'm not excited to use it, but these beliefs are the ones that are limiting you. Yeah. Because of these beliefs, you're not capable of doing this thing yet. And if I am going to act as if I do this thing, doing this thing requires a different belief. What's that belief? So now once we have to expose, we can do this ourselves, or
I was going to say, is that a blind spot area where like these limiting beliefs that somebody else may be able to see it and pinpoint it? Because oftentimes, like, I've had people tell me like, oh, that's just a limiting belief. And I'm like, great, cool. How do I change it?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Definitely. Like, some of them you're going to expose yourself. And for the ones that are blind spots, and finding your community, finding your tribe. Yeah. Like, there's people that are going to hold space compassionately to help create this awareness for you. Yeah. So definitely, like, community, like, we are capable. Everything we need is inside. So you're capable, like, the possibility exists of doing the journey by self. And that's the long road. Yeah. When we join community, we get the fast track. We get the fast pass.
Well, and I was actually thinking of something that you had talked about at Step Into Your Power, when I attended the, everything that is a thought is a possibility. And then if it's a thought plus a belief that we believe it is possible, then it's probable. But then that third component is, if we think that it is possible, we believe that it is possible, and then we feel it, we add the emotion, that's when it becomes the reality. And so when you're talking about like, okay, I want to think this, but like I don't actually
Believe
feel it.
I can't feel it
believe
because of the belief. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's why I was just,
We can't feel it yet because of the beliefs aren't aligned.
yeah.
And so, and 100%, when we talk about manifestation, law of attraction, I get to experience it every day.
Yeah.
I'm grateful and blessed. So like, I'm not trying to get other people to believe that it exists. I'm just sharing that my gratitude for getting to experience it. The thought, anything we think becomes possible, not that it's going to happen. So now guard in our mind, all of your negative thoughts are possible every time you allow yourself to think them. Why think them? Like, for example, if you're like, man, what if they don't like my presentation? Why have the thought, now it's possible that they won't like your presentation? Oh, it was possible anyway. Go out and try an experiment and then see what you find. Okay, so first is thought, next thought and belief. If we have a thought and we believe it to be true, it is now probable. It is very likely that we're going to see this in our future. If you have a thought and a belief, it is like very slim chance that you don't also have an emotion. I'm not even sure how that would work, but when you think something and you believe it, there's nothing that we unconsciously feel some kind of way. So when we get the belief aligned, there's like almost, there shouldn't, if you're not naturally in the emotion, there's a belief holding you back. If you're not naturally, because when you fully believe it, you will feel it. That's all that you'll feel it.
Yeah.
The beliefs, when we talk about, so identifying the ones that limit you, again, instead of calling them limiting beliefs, let's identify the beliefs that are allowing limits. And then we have to change that belief. Now, again, we could do it with self, but what is changing that belief? Changing that belief is not about restructuring the words on paper. Changing that belief is internal, not external. So if I believe, so for example, well, I don't have enough money and I have to keep working my job so that I can pay the bills, and I don't have enough additional time to make an additional stream of revenue. So like, I would love to have this, but this is the belief as to why I cannot have it. So like, if we just make something up right there, it's not going to work. Oh, I believe that the money is going to flow exactly as it's supposed to come. I mean, unless you believe that, that's not going to work. So then we got to look at, how do we flop this belief around? Well, I think a value is like, we want to kick the legs out from under your current belief. Once I make that belief no longer true, well, it's going to be easy to start accepting a new one. So how are we going to make that belief no longer true? Well, I know people that have gained funding through venture capitalism, grants. Oh, already the mind's like, oh, the belief is already beginning to shift a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's not just because we heard that. Maybe we're not all in yet, but we're like a little bit. We start kicking the legs out of this bar stool a little bit. And then we start as we start looking into these possibilities, they start becoming probabilities. We start having a new belief. We start feeling different about the potential future.
Yeah.
But we had to identify the belief first. And a lot of times we won't identify the beliefs because the blind spot is, we're like, that's not a belief, Greg. That's a fact. That's a fact but here's the fact. Objectively, you're working your job. Objectively, you only have so much money. Objectively, you only have so much time. But it's not a fact that you can't create this future. That's a belief. What are your thoughts over there?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's probably one that is held by a lot of people.
Yes.
And so I think the kicking the legs.
Real quick, when you say held by a lot of people, just for all the listeners, I still have this, not a little bit.
Yeah.
This is the journey.
Yeah.
I don't sit over here on this hey, just so you know, I figured this out. No. We all still have it. I cut you off, forgive me, but I excited to share that.
Yeah. Well, same. And that's, I have actually, but the probability part is I have a friend who we were doing this meditation and listening to something similar, and I had her kind of quantify what is it that you would want. And then she told me yesterday, she was like, I had this thing come in. Isn't this crazy? And she was like, but it was like, it's actually possible for me to do the thing.
Boom.
And it was like, but the awareness was there. And so like, you know, that little reticular activating system was out there looking for the ways that it was possible to make this happen. So whether or not she ends up doing this thing, it was like the possibility was alive.
100%. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's literally what happens. So when we look at now let's take this back to fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah.
And from the beginning, everything you created awareness for this in the beginning. Everything that we have ever done that we've never done before, the first time we do it, we're acting. Mm-hmm. Like if you've never swung a baseball bat before. I mean, okay. I said we're acting. All right. Maybe I pick up a bat and I literally just wing it and let's see what happens. In that manner, we're not acting. Okay. But if I see someone swing the baseball bat and hit the ball, and I don't know how to hit the ball, and I say, how do you hit the ball? I am then going to, in NLP, we call it modeling. I am then going to act. I'm going to do a performance as if I was this person and they just gave me the script and this is what they want to see on the stage. Mm. Eventually, it'll internalize and I'll know how to do it unconsciously. I won't think about nobody sees that ball coming at 100 miles an hour and they're like, all right, it's right here. Hold it. I need to start my swing right now. There is an literally that arm moves on the pitcher's mound and it's like neurologically, it's like, all right, in 0.1 of a second swing.
Yeah.
But that's happening unconscious. Like we're not like, all right, hold it. All right, now. In the beginning though, we literally, it actually reminds me, Trent Denson's second shot, I'll spread the positive. I was doing golf lessons with Trent and he's exceptional on golf and I'm good. Okay. So, but when I'm first learning these swings, we won't talk about what it looked like before. When I'm first learning, he's telling me each one of these things. And then while I'm standing there, I'm literally as if I was doing a play. I'm like, okay, so put my arm straight. So then it's like here, what are all the things they said, walk out on the stage and turn left and then say this and hand this to this person. We're literally in the beginning, we are acting this thing out.
Yeah.
Internal, not external. So I'm not acting because I want other people to see it. I'm acting because I want to realize I can do it.
Yeah.
The first time I do it, I'm acting. And then if I do all the things I'm working with Trent and literally very quickly, I'm like, oh shit, I can hit the ball. Well, I didn't say, oh shit, I'm acting and other people can think I can hit the ball. I believed it. So the fake it till we make it, we are acting. It's a little bit because it's I'm real. Okay. We are acting a little bit in terms of I don't know what this is, so I need to learn what the steps are, and I have to deductively do the steps.
Yeah.
And then repetition's the key to success. I have to continue to do the steps, internal. I'm literally saying to him, all right, walk up here. All right. He said, feet need to be shoulder width apart. Make sure the ball's aligned with my logo on my shirt. This arm's fully extended. I'm going through each of the steps in my script.
Yeah.
And then as long as I do this with repetition, eventually I'm going to think that I can play golf.
Yeah.
I'm going to think that I'm a golfer.
And then therefore you
don't play good. No, that's good. I had to plant that one in there. No, I mean, I've gotten literally so much better at the sport. And so going into literally what you said, being, outside of the humor, then you are a golfer. Now, when I play golf, the truth, candidly, I mean, I can hit the ball. I still got a lot of practice left, but
we didn't say you were a good golfer.
Right.
You said you were a golfer.
Right.
We can put whatever qualifiers we want to in there.
This time when I show up, everyone doesn't look. Who is that? What is he doing here? No. But yes, once I act it with enough repetition, eventually I just knew that I could.
Yeah.
Just knew that I could.
Okay.
In the beginning, think about how, there's been quotes, and I don't know who, and I'm sure more than one person has said it in a different variation, but if you want to be great, you got to be willing to suck at first. Mm. And okay, we don't have to suck at first, actually. But if we want to be great at something, think about the opposite. So internalizing acting as if for golf. I run through the script in my head, step by step, one, two, and then keep doing it. Oh, I kind of did repetition. If I did this externally, I would try to, I would never want to show up. Like when I'm practicing with Trent, like I'm literally like, when I first get there, like there's nothing, like the club's sitting, I'm like, where are my feet? Okay. In relation to my shoulders. If I were to want to do this, if I was focused on this externally, I would never let myself show up because I would never want them to see me like that. Cause then they would know that I'm not a golfer. So it's about like push them away and allow yourself to be the golfer, metaphorically. So acting as if or faking it till you make it is going inside and allowing yourself to try on what you're not yet.
Well, and that reminds me of, I saw this thing and I think I may have mentioned it before, but this, the idea of like, don't be afraid to be seen trying.
Let's go.
And, you know, so like we have labels of like imposter syndrome and all these other things, but like, what if imposter syndrome is just being a beginner?
Let's go.
And just trying.
Let's go.
And so like, you know, you've been using the analogy of golf and, you know, like how it is to, as a beginner at golf, to stand there and set your, you know, your stance and how you're going to swing and like walking through as you're programming, you know, that in your mind. And I believe that it also can be used in other like, you know, identities of, you know, like I am a health conscious person. And so then instead of saying I can't have that, it's I don't have that, because that's the like, you know, the fake it till you make it is like I may be a person who loves sugar, but if I say I can't have it, then that's like it's not necessarily an internalized thing. It's still something that I'm doing like for outside. But if I'm just like, no, I don't do that, then that's like
internalized,
you know, but I have to, I definitely have to be in repetition with
repetition
for it to land, you know, so that I'm not faking it any longer. And
I loved how like the health conscious, like if I want to be healthy and let's suppose that I don't know what to do yet. I'm literally going to look at people who are healthy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you in that and modeling what they did.
Taking their steps and then in the beginning, I'm just doing the steps.
Yeah.
So like in the beginning, just my feet, just my shoulders, just my hand, just my, and eventually we do these steps with enough repetition. All of a sudden we're taking a shower one day and we're like, oh, look at that line right there. Yeah. Woohoo, I do this. Like, I'm not giving it up now.
Yeah. Because then it starts to feel good.
It feels good.
It feels good.
And once, listen, once remember, thought, belief, once that feeling happens, it is gonna come to pass.
Yeah.
We will. And remember in the future memory, like nothing, if we all can agree, I think, and for the, you know, reject if it's not for you, like we are infinite in the sense of from this point in time, like right now we could just abruptly stop the podcast or we could go on for another 2 hours. Like anything could happen. We could change the subject. Anything is possible. If I choose a future that I'm going to get to and I keep remembering what it's like to get there, it will come to pass. The idea of if the future is infinite, if you're in alignment with that, if not, hey, cool. If you're in alignment that the future is infinite, then whatever you think of that you create as a future memory is as possible as every other option in infinity.
It's such a wild concept, but I mean, I believe it. And I do. I think that it is, you know, everything is created twice, first in the mind and then in reality. And so it almost feels like that, like fake it till you make it is, for lack of better words, the steps along the way.
Literally. And remember in the future, like I think to myself, like I constantly go to this place where I'll be at, to say the next level. There's more levels from there. But I think about, I heard this saying one time, I think it was Grant Cardone. I don't know. But it was like, if you have a $100 problem, you don't have $1 million problem. And like, that was huge for me in the sense of like the problems that I was allowed. Everyone has problems. Millionaire, billionaire problems are a little bit different than 100-air problems. Like the people, like and it doesn't just have to do with money or just do with millionaire, but at a certain level, we no longer care about the problems we used to care about. We don't have any. Okay. So I think about how I'll operate in the future and what I'll think about the problems that I'm allowing myself to struggle with today. And when I realize they don't matter in the future, I allow them to also not matter today. If in the future they matter, then they probably matter right now. But if in the future, if I'm like, because the little problems are like, oh, my neighbor parked too close, the boss is mean to me. And when I go to this place and I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like if it was the boss is mean to me. I go to the future where I've created this empire, and I think about how I'll share this story, and I'm so empowered to get to have this experience today because I know where I'm going, and I know this boss's story is going to get told, and I'm going to be the one that gets to tell it. So by allowing myself to go to the future memory, I can access resources that I don't possess right now. Even though I might not even know what those resources are or how to use them, I know once I have the existence of those resources, this is how I handle that problem.
And by default, does that feel like you're like expanding or just increasing your bandwidth to even step into that thinking?
Nonstop. Like when from the outside looking in, you know, people constantly, they're like, how are you getting so much done? How are you? Like, I'm just choosing not, like every time, like I would, if I allow myself to deal with all the little problems, then I would have so much time occupied in them. But I'm constantly living as if I'm in the future right now. It's a weird thing to do. Yeah. Constantly living as if I'm in the future right now. What will if someone says, hey, you're an asshole, what will I say when I'm at this empire? What would I say? I would buy their lunch. Obviously they're having a rough day.
Yeah.
Whereas like today, I'm like, fuck did you call me? You know, what? I'm not an asshole, whatever the case may be. Allow us, we can access resources from future memories, which is wild, but really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we are going to tidy this one up today. We'll do a little bit more because I think we discovered, I think there's so much more to unpack with this for people. I remember before I learned manifestation, like wanting to know what it was. And I'm sure many people out there also are wanting to know, like, how do I make this a daily practice? Like other than just the abstract, be positive, believe it'll work. Like how do I turn this into a literal process that I live? So we'll definitely spend more time with this one in the future and unpack it a little bit more as well. You have any final thoughts, Catherine?
Just that I feel like that the more I don't like bristle at now hearing fake it till you make it. And I noticed that as, you know, and I kind of knew already where you're, you know, because we've had conversations about it, but I actually noticed that even just internally that I was like, okay, I've already kind of reframed this for myself in that, you know, again, it's kind of like, who do I want this identity to be? And let it be an identity shift as opposed to, because then I'm not faking anything. I'm just letting the current reality catch up to the new identity.
And when you let yourself do that, the realization, like when you give yourself the freedom of autonomy, you arrive in that identity or reality and you don't like it. Oh, I created this one.
Yeah.
I'll create a new one. Well, I'll create a new one.
Yeah.
I am infinite.
Yeah.
I am not just a father. I'm not just transformation. I'm not just a husband. I'm infinite.
Yeah.
Like my identity is not singular to anything. And giving ourselves that autonomy, we can continue to go out and create our identity.
Yeah.
I love it. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
If this hit you deep, trust that.
Your pain has power and your story isn't over.
Follow, share, and this to someone who you think might benefit.
I'm Greg.
And I'm Catherine.
And this was The Power in the Pain. Keep stepping into your power.